We recently talked about how sticker prices in the CS2 market have been going absolutely crazy. Now, one important thing here to really think about is the market dynamic of why sticker prices just go insane. It's all supply and demand. Obviously, there's a few things that can determine exactly if a sticker is going to be in high demand. For an example, YouTubers could make a video talking about a sticker craft that looks pretty cool, that really kind of catches on and goes viral, and then all of a sudden you see the market demand just increase significantly while the supply diminishes over time, leading to a big price increase. Now, the market itself has been bouncing back, and I do think that along with this, we definitely do get some increased market activity, and we already saw that. I mean, we talked about it just the other day, right? We talked about it here where we saw the Evil Geniuses Stockholm 2021 CSGO Holo increase over 2,400% in just the last 60 days. Now, we also know that it wasn't just this Holo, it was actually pretty much the entire Evil Geniuses market. I mean, it was actually kind of crazy to see this. But again, the main thing here was this sticker was significantly undervalued, supply was diminishing, while demand started to increase, and we witnessed a squeeze of the price. Now, again, when we are thinking about that, the market is bouncing back, and along with that, we are starting to see some stickers going insane here. For an example, a lot of stickers from the Rio 2022, the Antwerp 2022 collection as well, even the Stockholm 2021, which is of course a part of this collection with the Evil Geniuses, so that's definitely, guaranteed to have that crazy value increase. But we've also been starting to see an increase across the board for even like the Shanghai 2024, the Berlin 2019, and there's something to really kind of learn here, right? And the main thing to learn here is looking at some of the older collections, looking at the value of some of the holos, even the foils as well, and starting to see a market difference. And what I mean by that is, the Evil Geniuses collection, for an example, or I shouldn't say the Evil Geniuses collection, but the Stockholm 2021 collection where we saw the Evil Geniuses one go crazy, almost every other holo in this and almost every single other sticker in this as well was going crazy, or at least starting to increase significantly in value or trading at higher prices than this sticker. So we knew that there was a problem in the market where, this was basically going to catch up, and after it started to catch up, the squeeze just happened and it continued to soar higher and higher and higher. Now, the big thing here is, what stickers are we looking at? What stickers should we be looking at? And honestly, I'm thinking that the 2020 RMR collection could be something to look into. Number one, the stickers actually look very good. And some of these stickers have extremely low supply, compared to other collections. And this is a very old collection. It's 5 years old. So I do think that this is something that we should be looking into. Now, the capsule itself, right? Like when we look at the list of all of these capsules, right? Again, I do think that looking into some of these older events, finding stickers that are trading significantly lower than other collections, we could start to find some decent buys. One capsule that's insane today is, for an example, the MLG Columbus 2016 Legends Holo and Foil stickers. These stickers are all pretty expensive compared to what they were trading at when they first came out. I mean, even the lower tier ones are extremely expensive. The MLG one being the most expensive at, $92. You could also see the market dynamic here for this because of how diminished the supply actually is. It's a very old sticker, which is why the value of this started to just squeeze higher and higher. And even more recently, it started to go crazy because of the supply and demand. Just like that, right? We're looking at all of these other collections like the Antwerp and even the Rio, and, just looking at some of the differences here in value. For an example, we look at like the Cloud9 Holo and the Furia Holo, and even the other Holos, we could start to kind of see that these two have significantly increased in value compared to these other ones. And again, the supply on these is still so low. I do think that these could very well be some solid buys. and they don't look too bad in game at all. Like for example, the PGL in game, it doesn't look bad at all, especially on like green crafts. And if we look at the all-time chart for this, this is starting to squeeze. So I wouldn't say that this is a very solid buy, but I'm just trying to look at this and kind of compare it to the other stickers in it. And when we look at this, right, like some of these are very similar in supply, if not some of them are lower, like the FaZe Clan one. So I do think that the FaZe Clan one will eventually reach like the $10 plus region from the $2.90 that it is currently trading at on certain exchanges. But if we look at the all-time chart for the FaZe one, I do think that this one is extremely undervalued. I do think that it could hit the $20 region again. And right now, the lowest price of this out there is like roughly $2.88 or so. Even on Steam, about $4.74. It's not a bad value. But Skinport $4.04. It's really not that it's really not that bad in terms of price compared to where it was at some point in time. And it's for a sticker that actually does look pretty decent in game. It's not the best looking sticker. Again, though, we're not really looking at how good it looks in game. We're mainly looking at the supply ratio here. But outside of the Antwerp 2022, there's also the Rio 2022. And again, these have actually stayed around their same value. Like for example, Team Spirit. But the problem with these stickers, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I know that we just talked about how it's supply and demand. The look of these stickers in game just don't look that good, which is why I don't think that these are that popular among sticker collectors, because again, they just don't look that good. Like even all of the other ones, like I do like the design, it's cool and all, but it's hard to fit this onto a gun craft, which again, I think still has a big, part of the demand side of, this market. Like if it doesn't look good and people are not looking into like adding it to a gun craft, I don't think that it's going to increase that significantly in value. But talking about that, let's take a quick look at the 2020 RMR Legends, because I do think that this is a capsule that maybe we invest into it possibly. And what I mean by that is we don't buy the capsule itself, but we invest into the stickers of it. Now, when we think about the stickers in it, okay, let's go and take a quick look at some of these stickers. The main ones that I'm looking at here are the foils and also the hollows, because they look the best. Obviously, even the regular stickers aren't too bad, but you could see the value difference here. But these are extremely cheap for an extremely old capsule here. I mean, this released on January 27th, 2021. So we're talking about, 4 years old now. When we look into these stickers, they look very solid. Here's the Vitality one, for an example. This is in the same collection. We can see what it looks like here. Very solid overall design here. I do think that this could be worked in on some crafts. Look at the chart for this thing. It is absolutely flat around like 8 or 10 cents. And at some point in time, it did hit, 50 cents, or even back here upon release, 50 plus cents. But look at the market for this. I mean, guys, when we look at the listings here, there's not that many listings. I mean, 4.7K active offers on Steam. You might think that that's like a very high supply. It's not that crazy compared to some of these other stickers that have done very well. But if that supply scares you, some of the other stickers within this have very, very low supply. This one, not so much. This is the Heroic Hollow. Again, they all look pretty decent in game. I know that this gallery doesn't do it that much justice. I wish that it did. But they all look pretty decent. And even if it's not the hollows, right? The foils look very good, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But here's a perfect example of what I mean by, you got to kind of look into market dynamics. The 100 Thieves one just recently at the end of July was trading at 5 cents. Now it's almost 10 cents. This is getting squeezed to the upside. And when we think about that, right, this is 10 cents. This one is about 12 cents. So this is starting to squeeze off of the lows. This Vitality one is pretty flat. There has been a nice little spike here. But I think that they go higher, especially once we start to see a lot more people looking into these. And I'm not making this video to do that. I'm just saying, like, I do think that some of these are pretty good buys. Like, for an example, NIP. If we think about the NIP one, there's only 1.8K active offers on Steam. This is one that actually looks pretty decent in game. Again, this could go with some nice sticker crafts. When we look at the chart for this, it's flatlined around 5 cents. I do think that these can have a nice increase. Even if it's a 3x or a 4x in value, that's a very solid overall investment. This is what the 1 year looks like. This is what the year to date looks like. I mean, again, I think that these are going to be a solid investment. Outside of that, in terms of the Spirit one, I love the Spirit one. I think it's also why the value of this one is significantly higher. It just looks better than most of the other holos in it. It has this nice blue outline. It just looks clean. It goes well. I could see this going very good on, like, for an example, a Neon Rider. I think that it would look really good on the Neon Riders, or even like the Icarus Fell, or even the Blue Phosphorus, or the Phosphor. I think that this would be a very solid sticker to look into. And again, the value of it at one point in time was 73 cents, 60 cents, 50 cents. So I think that these will increase in value. And by the way, some of the other skins that it would look good on, we have the Nightmare here, the Atheris. We also have the Frontside Misty, which I actually agree with the Frontside Misty. I think that that would look very clean with these stickers. But also some of the other ones like the Slate, more of like the, plain looking skins, they will definitely look pretty good on it as well. And then also the Furia Holo, this one's a little bit more expensive simply because of how it looks. Again, it's very, very clean. This one's actually starting to squeeze in a big way, which is why I think the other the other stickers will also squeeze to the upside just like this, except this is having a much more of an increase than compared to the other ones. Like, this is 5 cents. It's almost hitting 20 cents here. And if we look at it, again, it looks so clean in game. I do think that people should be taking a quick look into this 2020 RMR collection. I think that there's a lot of money to be made here. And even like the Navi Holo here, 56 cents. This is pretty flat. I actually think that this goes very well with a lot of like yellow looking skins, like the Fuel Injector, for an example. I'm not too sure what else they're saying here. So like the Elite Build Buzzkill. Yeah, I mean, this would actually go pretty well with almost all of these skins, but I think that even the Bloodsport would be a very nice skin to throw this sticker on. But the Fuel Injector would also be pretty cool. But outside of that, the Evil Geniuses Holo, we already talked about it, right? It did skyrocket. This is a part of the RMR. I think almost all of the stickers in this are very cheap. And I think that they will all increase in value. Maybe not as crazy as this. I would love to see that. But, I do think that there's a lot of opportunities out there. And of course, when we think about the market for these, I mean, 2,600 plus sales. This is what people are asking for. I mean, 2,000 listings. It's not that crazy, but if we think about the Furia, this thing was down. I mean, back here, we're talking about like 17 cents, 18 cents. Now it's already at 35 plus cents. The Furia sticker itself, let's go back to the Furia. Currently speaking, if you buy this on like CS Float or so, 22 cents. I mean, that's a huge increase in value just by, buying it off of a different market, for an example, which I would never buy off of Steam. I would never utilize Steam, but even the Spirit one, 55 cents, you can start to see that climb. I think that this is a very, very good collection to look into. I think that the Vitality one is actually a little overlooked here, but also the foils. I wanted to take a quick look at the foils because the foils look insane. This is also why I think, the foils in this collection are actually a little bit more sought after than the holos, which I know that kind of sounds crazy because sometimes it's the opposite, but when we look at the Spirit one, guys, this looks insanely clean in game. Look at how nice this sticker actually looks. So I do think that this is starting to squeeze. I actually think that it could hit some of these prices back here. Wouldn't be a big shock to me. And I actually think that it could rally against the 2021 highs as well. But also even the Navi, right? Like this, all of these foils, right? The color wave of them just looks so good in the game. I think it's because these launched around CSGO. So with CS2, it just makes them shine so much better. Even the 100 Thieves one, right? Look at how nice the 100 Thieves one looks in game. This would go so well with, pretty much any skin that's like a red or an orange or a yellowish. And again, this one's so flat. It's crazy. This is probably one of the cheaper foils. Yeah, I mean, this thing is at 28 cents. I think that it could easily catch up to the Navi, which is at almost $1, and even the Spirit one, which is over $1 plus. And then also the Heroic, again, any red skin, yeah, I mean, these are all great ones. The red line for sure. I mean, guys, this one's also pretty flat. Look at how nice these look. I love the foils in this collection. I seriously think that they are some of the best looking foils that we have in the game. Even the NIP one, I mean, look at how nice this looks. I mean, it just, these I really do see. And again, look at the supply on these. I mean, guys, there's not that much supply of these foils. I think that these will squeeze in price in a big way, and make you guys a lot of money. Because again, like even when we look at Steam for this, 862, it's crazy how unsaturated the market is with these types of stickers that a lot of people are just not looking into. Even the Vitality one, right? Again, buzzkill, throw it on a fuel injector. Look at how clean. Oh, this looks so good. So again, these are all trading at some pretty lows. I think that these will make you guys a lot of money. Definitely check out the RMR collection. I think that the foils will definitely increase a little bit more in value than the hollows. I just think that the supply is a lot more diminished, and I think that they just look better than the hollows, but I also don't think that the hollows would be a bad call either. And at a time where the market is kind of heating up around stickers, I do think that it is a perfect time to take a quick look into some of these old sticker capsules. You don't even need to check out the RMR 2020. You could look into some of these other ones, right? Because again, I do think that a lot of these other events around that time also had some very, very solid stickers in them that could be worth a pretty penny. Even if we think about Berlin 2019, for an example, some of the stickers in this were so unique. Like look at the Astralis one, for an example. I love the look of these old stickers. I really wish that the game had stickers similar to this. There just really isn't much of these types of styles now around the sticker market, but look at the supply on these things. It's insane that a lot of people are not looking into these and saying, oh hey, look at, there's almost practically no supply of these. They don't look bad in the game at all. Obviously they are a little bit older, but I mean, the price of these are still so flat compared to, like $5 back in the day. I mean, some of these are so cheap, and they could be huge investments. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on to never miss a future update. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.